we've read about these stories our entire lives, haven't we? Jesus cast the demon out of people. We don't have any experience with it ourselves. We probably haven't seen it ourselves. We haven't run into it, and so we don't really know what to do with it. I, as a pastor, have heard third hand and so on stories of this from the mission field. And it wasn't until 2012, and I've shared this before, when I finally heard a first-hand report from one of our own AFLC missionaries who is working in Uganda of demon possession and exorcism and so on. feed the new nature. You've got to feed the new nature in Christ. If you're not feeding the new nature in Christ, don't ask yourself and don't question why are you fighting and struggling and losing the battle. And I'm pointing to myself as well. When I point this way, there's three fingers pointing back at me. Are you feeding your new nature? So those are the three enemies of our soul that we can, folks, to only think about maybe one, or we get it mixed up. There's power in the name of Jesus. The demons recognize that, or the demons recognize that. The demons had understanding. And thirdly and finally, we have the surprising response in verses 34 to 38. And it says here, when those who fed them saw what had happened, they fled and told it in the city and in the country. And then they went out to see what had happened and came out to see when they went